If you are a man that acquires multiple wives, it will lead you to be disloyal and sinful, which is what we're seeing. We're seeing men who are saying polygamy, it's normal. And it's leading you down a path of demons. You're going to end up meeting the devil himself leading down this path. Period, point blank. There's no sugarcoating it.
Y'all freaked out. That's the truth. Like, we got to be honest. And it's not just men, okay? Let's just go ahead and clear that up. It ain't just men.
It's everybody.
Everybody. Y'all is freaky. Like, y'all on some weird type of swinger, and nothing satisfies me, like deep whole pit of lust. Like, y'all really got to, like, let's rein it in. Let's rein it in. We had a whole debate with a man online about polygamy. And we find that this is a topic that really ruffles a lot of men's feathers, but a lot of women are starting to subscribe to this ideology as well. Yep. We find that y'all are not satisfied with one person based off of some type of criteria you have to be satisfied in every single way. And if a person doesn't satisfy you in every single way that your perverted mind desires, then you need to have a person for every task.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You need a real eater. That's what they say.
Honestly, what it is you're attaching yourself every single time. You're attaching yourself to a new demon and a new demon and a new demon and a new demon and a new demon.
Well, they call it demon time.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
They're demonic, and they're attaching themselves to demonic souls.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing is the reason they're not satisfied is because they want to literally do whatever they want. They want to do everything under the sun that's against righteousness. That's period, point blank. That's literally all that they want to do. Any man that can justify, oh yeah, I could sleep with 100 women and be fine, you're lying. Any man who says, I can manage 10 women, you're lying. You can't even manage yourself, let alone one woman. What makes you think you can manage 10 women, 5 women, 12 women, whatever the case may be? You're wrong. You can't do it. You're only doing it to just justify that you want to do these things. You can't actually do it successfully because, one, it's not in nature to do it. That's why all the greatest men that came before you and after you have failed at doing it. Every single man who was great in human history failed because of the lust of multiple women. It's impossible. These are not examples of this is the biggest reason why I get frustrated with this topic is because they try to use the Bible, especially men. You guys try to use the Bible and say, look at the Bible. The Bible is showing all these men that have multiple wives. So guess what? I can have multiple wives too. No, this is not what this means. There's a big difference. There's a reason that words matter, and there's a reason why you need to research and do your research. The reason is because the Bible has two ways of interpreting it, which is what? Prescriptive and descriptive. They're two different things. The Bible has some things that are prescriptive and some things that are descriptive. And what you guys are talking about with these men with multiple wives is descriptive. It's not for you to do it as a commandment or a order. It's for you to look at it and for record in describing men so that way it shows you examples of what not to do. Description. It's description of men that have failed at doing what you're trying to do and at a greater scale than you will ever even imagine. And they still failed. We have Solomon, wisest man to ever exist, failed. King David, holiest man to ever exist, failed. Samson, the strongest man to ever exist, failed. And you are a regular man and you'll fail. Stop using the Bible to say, look, they did it. No, these things were put in place as descriptions for what not to do.
Absolutely. And we can take it to the Bible since we are already talking about it.
Yep, Genesis I'm gonna go ahead and get mine ready too.
Genesis 2:24. That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife and they become how many fleshes?
One.
I think that only can have one flesh.
Exactly.
Only got one body.
Exactly.
And that's what he designed you to only have, one body. I don't know if y'all think that only women should remain virgins until marriage. God never says that. God says that thou shalt not fornicate. And do you know what fornication means? Having sex with anybody that is not your wife or your spouse.
Yeah.
So this is the real question I have for y'all. Because you want to open this Pandora's box and you want to see all the freak nasty stuff inside, and then it perverts your mind. And then when God describes the relationship between a man and a woman as they become one, he describes it as his relationship to the church and how he loved the church and he pedestalized it and he nurtured it and he took care of the church, and that's a very intimate relationship between two entities. And you're not God. So we're not going to even play as if the church is multiple people because you're not God. So when you can barely manage the psychology of yourself. And so now having a spouse, you have to learn how to coexist with this person, to grow with this person, to create a life with this person. And that takes your all. That takes your all. And so what is it about you that you can't be satisfied and designate yourself to one purpose and one thing to make it great? Why do you need to disperse your wild oats or your box to everybody that is willing to stick a penny in it. You have to really think about your own value and the imprint you leave on this world by the decisions you make.
Yeah, you the reason you just asked them a question, and in the middle of you asking them that question, why would you? You were saying why they don't, which is they don't want to be with one person. That's the reason why they're giving it up to anybody and everybody.
No, Malik. It's not that they don't want to. They can't. They can't. They cannot. There's one thing about want, right? I don't want chicken tonight. I want steak. That's an option.
Yeah.
You don't even have the option to have a longevity with one person because you're not capable.
Yeah.
Every man who sits there and thinks that it is, every man who thinks that it is glamorous or an achievement to be able to manage more than one woman, what you really don't understand is the achievement and the glamour and the accolade comes from the progression and the longevity with one woman. You know why? Because that's a real task. That's a real, fact checking. That's a real, what is it called? Like fixing the error. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a margin of error. It's a, let's come back to this. Okay, how do we fix this? There's a strategize and there's a method behind it to satisfying one person and allowing it to last for a lifetime.
Yeah.
That's a real formula to figure out. And that's why everybody says, what's the secret? What's the secret? What's the secret? Because there is a real secret behind it.
Yeah.
And that's Jesus.
I'll tell you the truth because I'm not going to hold back. Honestly, I think any man that can go woman to woman to woman to woman to woman to woman to woman
Go ahead and say,
to
go ahead and
woman, I think that you don't really like women.
What you like?
Which is why you go from woman to woman, from woman to woman to woman to woman to woman to woman, and you still got the same homeboys. So you got 10 different women every week, but you got the same homeboys. How is that so? How can you bounce from woman to woman to woman to woman to woman to woman, but yet you got the same homies? You always want to be with these men over here, but you can't stick with one woman and say, this is my all, this is my everything.
You know, I heard one man say that if we didn't want to sleep with y'all, we wouldn't want to be around y'all, we want to be around our homeboys. And to me, in reverse, that says something else.
Exactly. That's where I'm getting at. What I'm saying is, you would rather spend all your time with men, than spend time with a woman who you are biologically attracted to, but yet you treat these women as if it's nothing, but you treat your homeboys as if they're your woman. And for the women,
I was just about to get on.
The women, you complain about there's not any good men and that men don't treat you well. But when a good man comes along, you know what you say? You know what they always say? They always say, I won't cook for a man, but you'll lay down with him.
The legs is open.
You lay down with him, but you can't cook for him. That's backwards. You should have cooked for him before you even laid down for him.
This the thing.
Makes zero sense.
Why are you baby mama number 3?
Exactly.
You have to start to ask yourself these questions because these are psychological issues. Call it what it is. These are mental disorders.
Yep.
These are mental disorders because God gives you so much clarity. He gives you a blueprint on how to do this.
Exactly.
And even if you ain't going to do it to the T of Jesus Christ, could you at least acknowledge that this is the method that works because most people that are in longevity, marriages and covenants, this is what they go by. So even if you ain't going to do it to the T, could you at least try to mimic it? And I'm going to tell you right now, you can go ahead and cancel somebody off the list if they already got 3 babies and 3 baby mamas.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, I'm saying women, we gotta stop. Just slow down, cause I'm guilty of it too. I move quick. Malik tell me slow down. I'm talking fast now. We gotta slow down and calm your flesh down. We know you hot. We know you young and you feel like you sexy. You feel like you got a lot of time. But I'm telling you, when that baby come, it ain't gonna be a lot of time. When you battling and in that real ghetto situation, playing it out, trying to figure out what you did wrong, you just have to slow down a minute.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And I'm gonna give you something for this polygamy talk. Deuteronomy 17:17. And he shall not acquire many wives for himself, lest his heart turn away, nor shall he acquire for himself excessive silver and gold. This is a direct command for kings and men that have many wives that lead to division of loyalty and sin. What this is stating is, if you are a man that acquires multiple wives, it will lead you to be disloyal and sinful, which is what we're seeing. We're seeing men who are saying polygamy, it's normal. And it's leading you down a path of demons. You're going to end up meeting the devil himself leading down this path. Period, point blank. There's no sugarcoating it. You will see the red horns in your face if you keep going down this path of polygamy. It's going to lead you to lie to people. It's going to lead you to using people. It's going to lead you to abusing people. I'm not even just talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally abusing people. It's going to lead you to stealing from people. It's going to lead you to doing all sorts of sinful things, which is why they command you not to do these things, because it is sinful is wrong and it leads you away from God, completely away from God. And I want to give you one more. I want to give you one more. This is from Jesus himself. Matthew 19:4-6. Jesus said, "Have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female, and said, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." So there is no longer two people, it's one flesh. So it clearly says that the two will become one, not the three become one, not the 10 become one. It says the two become one.
This video is titled Polygamy, but it's really about y'all's lustful spirit.
Exactly.
It's fornicating, it's homosexuality, it's just being freaked out in general.
Leads to bestiality.
The pornography.
The corn.
Yeah. Y'all really have to slow down.
Yeah.
You walk around and you itching, you scratching, and you trying to scratch before they come in the room. You turn off the lights so they don't see. Like, y'all really is masking this stuff as if it's glamorous, and it's nasty. It's nasty. You want to be a polygamy, you want to be a sister wife, and he throwing off your pH. Every time you walk in there, there's something fishy going on in here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all really have to take a step back and ask yourself, why?
What are we doing?
Because I'm telling you, there's nothing more beautiful than feeling secure with one person, being able to come and trust one person, being able to build a life with one person. And everybody puts fear in your heart to say that monogamy doesn't last, and it's not true. God designs it to last. Exactly. He designs it to last a lifetime, but you have to put him at the center of it. You want to have multiple options because you want to be able to back up. If this one leave, I got this one, and this one leave. You ain't got to back it up with God, because God don't need a plan B.
And the truth is the reason you want multiple partners is because you don't have the wherewithal to keep one partner. How do I know this? Because just like you got multiple partners and you bouncing partner to partner, is the same thing you're doing in your real life, which is bouncing job to job. That's what you're doing. If you are bouncing partner to partner, I know that you're not stable, and you have bounced from job after job after job after job.
To ideology, to ideology,
exactly.
to ideology.
You don't stand for nothing. Noodle back. He's like this. He's like this. I don't stand for nothing. I don't stand about nothing. I don't believe in nothing.
America don't stand for nothing. Americans lack standard.
Exactly.
Because we don't have any real identity within anything. We have to identify with one another, and it's the blind leading the blind.
Exactly.
None of
the crazy leading the crazy.
None of the majority know where they going or where they been. They couldn't tell you where they was last night because they were so drunk. They wake up in the morning in somebody's bed. They was in Vegas getting married to a stranger. Yep. You have to start to ask yourself. At the clinic. I told you, scratching and itching.
That's the one thing I don't even understand how they don't even think about it. They don't even think about, I can catch something. They don't even think about that part. They think about getting somebody pregnant before they think about catching something. And if you catch something, you could die.
They don't care about that.
Yeah, they
don't care about that.
They don't.
Hey, it's YOLO, right? We liberated.
No.
We walking around there. Everybody
stop listening to these stupid rappers. You stop listening to these stupid rappers that's telling you, you only live once, you only gonna be young forever, you only gonna be 22 forever, you only be 23 forever. And guess what? You're gonna be 33 and still doing the same thing. You're gonna be 44 doing the same thing. Alone, by yourself, no family. Actually, you got a somewhat of a family because you got 4 kids, 4 baby daddies, or 5 kids and 5 baby mamas.
Hey man, 10 years is sneaky. Y'all think that y'all got time? These years are sneaky. And away from us wanting you to find covenant with the person, with the spouse, and live an honest life that you can commit to and see the fruits of all of the foundations you plant when you decide to marry. Ultimately, we want you to find a relationship with God, because everything we're saying will resonate with ears that are close, with hearts that are close to him, where God can see his reflection in you. And therefore, when we're speaking to you, you don't feel convicted by this. You don't feel shame. You feel understanding, so that moving forward, you can make decisions that actually impact your life positively and not putting yourself in positions that you'll regret. Because I promise you, the more bodies, no matter if you're female or male, the more bodies you collect, the more regret and shame and pieces of yourself you leave behind. So please start to consider what it means to be who you are. What it means to be, what does it mean to be Tyshe? You know what I'm saying? How do I value myself? Do I value myself by giving myself to everybody? And everybody thinks that's just a female thing. No, men, you should be picky with who, not even picky. You should pick one to give yourself to and stay with that person, because there's nothing beyond that. There's nothing beyond unifying with a person, creating with a person, building with the person, problem solving with the person, depending on a person. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah, and the problem with doing this, well, another problem, because we already listed multiple problems, but another problem in doing this, you don't realize that you're setting yourself up for failure, because you're picking this person and comparing them. You're picking the next person and then the next person and comparing them, which is why you end up alone. And especially for the women, y'all do this to the death of you. You compare each man is like, well, this man was taller, this man was stronger, this man had more money, this man was cuter, this man was sweeter, this man was this man was that, until the point where you're sitting there, you realize you're 40, you have 3 kids, 3 different baby daddies, because you couldn't sit down and choose the man that you had the kid with the first time and said, this was enough. No, you said, well, I just found him and he a little bit taller than you and he might go to the league, so I'm gonna go over here. And then he leave you and you want to go back to him, and now he ain't messing with you no more, and then you call him
they ain't going to the league. They ain't talking about, they ain't doing this with one league. They doing this with JoJo.
Yeah, that's true.
And JoJo is on the corner in boxers hanging out the top of his jabot jeans. Man. Like, y'all gotta really be for real. Yeah. People say, that's not me, that's not me. Maybe JoJo ain't got no jabots, but he got on them old Amiris with that bedazzled belt. Y'all gotta be for real. Lust and perversion is not, there's no limit to it. Once you open the door, you're gonna get scared when you look in there because it's ugly. It's ugly.
Yeah.
It's ugly.
Yeah. And for the men, because the women, you sit down with a woman for real and tell her what's up, she'll listen. Men, y'all are the hard-headed ones. You are the most hard-headed because you think that because you're a man, that what you say goes, not realizing you're still a boy by the way you're moving. Simple. If you are a man or claim to be a man and you're moving as if you're still 16, 15 years old, you're not a man. Just because you pay a little bill here, a little bill there, does not make you a man. You know what makes you a man? Sitting down and having responsibilities and having people depend on you. And if they can call you in the midst of an emergency and say, this is going on, can you help me? And you can stop and say, I got it. You can stop and say, I'm on my way. You can stop and say, I gotta leave where I gotta go help my wife. That is what makes you a man. Knowing that you have a woman and a child or children at home depending on you. That is what makes you a man. People depending on you and you can come through. Not going to this woman, going to that woman and saying, yeah, I got some cars, I got this, I got that. That does not make you a man. That makes you a boy.
Yeah, I got Malik on speed now. I don't know what to do. Call me. Hello. Are you there?
And by the way, because I already know the demented man in these comments gonna be like, he a simp.
Y'all are ignorant fools.
First of all,
nut jobs.
You don't even know what a simp means. You think any man who is actually with one woman is a simp. I'm married for one, so I cannot be a simp to my wife. That's dumb. You wouldn't even understand that because you're not married. So you're demented. Secondly, you need to understand you're actually the simp because you're going on date after date, sleeping after sleeping, and getting tricked out by all these women.
Just loose.
You're getting flipped around all by this. You think you're doing the flipping around. You getting flipped around because you're the one that got to take the woman on the dates. You're the one that got to pay for the dates. You're the one that got to pick her up, waste your gas money. You're the one that got to do all these things for each different woman you go on a date with. So who's really the simp? Clown. Pay attention. I'm saying this with love. Men, stop thinking multiple women makes you a man, and stop listening to men online who are actually married most of the time to say you can have multiple women.
His wife just slapped the taste out of his mouth.
As soon as they turn off their camera, they turn around to their wife and be like, that was a good episode, huh, baby? Clowns. Y'all are weird.
His wife be like, you better keep it there. You better keep it there. I ain't playing with you.
You're doing one of two things. You're either listening to men who tell you, go get multiple wives and get some money, who's married. Or two, you're listening to men who are not married, never been married, and they was weirdos. And now because they got a little bit of a podcast or whatever, they think that they're somebody. And they just now getting girls themselves. They 40 years old and they just got girls for the first time in their life. And now they saying, this is how you get some girls, bro. You ain't never even had a girl in your life. Stop listening to men that don't know what they're talking about. Stop. You know how you know if a man knows what he's talking about? If he sit down like this, he look like a and he say, let me tell you something. You see my wife? That's all I need. That's all I need. That's all I got. And that's make me a man. That's a man. Seriously. Period, point blank. A man that can stick with one woman means he is loyal. It means he has discernment. And it means that he's following a path of righteousness.
And you can trust him.
And you can trust him. Because I promise you, you wouldn't want to trust a businessman who breaks every contract he signs. Mm-hmm. He said, yeah, bro, I want to go in business with you. And then you look at his track record. His track record says he breaks every single lease he's ever signed. You wouldn't want to sign him. I wouldn't want to sign him. Mm-hmm. So what makes you think a woman, you're like, these women is blah, blah, blah. These men is blah, blah, blah. But when you look at your track record says you break every contract you have or you run before it's even time for negotiations. And trash.
I want y'all to consider what we're saying, but dive into this for yourselves.
Yep.
Look at the character of Jesus. Look at what he stood for. look at what he represented when it came to love, when it came to solidarity, when it came to dependableness, when it came to grace, when it came to mercy. Because even when you get into these relationships, you lack those things. You lack forgiveness. You lack
gratitude,
a gratitude, progressive mindset. You lack a lot.
Grace.
There you go. And that's why you're afraid of divorce. But if you really hone into not how much money a person make or how good she look or how much this and how, when you start quantifying people on this metric scale and you look at what the character that God says is important when you're choosing your spouse, you'll find longevity. You'll find forever.
Yep.
We hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you
read that Bible.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. That was good. That was